Hi, and welcome to another edition of Beer for Breakfast ABV. I am Danielle. I'm on the Moog Show, Monday through Friday here at 91X. As always, I have my beer partner in crime with me, Paul Segura, Research and Development Brewmaster over at Karl Strauss. And today we have Pink Boots Society with us. We have Nicole. Nicole is the benchmark brewery lady, but when it comes to Pink Boots Society, she is the secretary as well as the chapter liaison.
Yes.
And then we also have Kelly. Kelly is a regional sales manager for YCH Hops, and that was the company that was used for the Pink Boots Society blend, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
So I'll start pouring beers, but Nicole, can you kind of give us an overview of what's going on today?
Yeah. So we have been brewing these collaboration brews for the Pink Boots Society now for 5 years, which is really crazy. And Pink Boots has been around for 10 years. So this year we wanted to do something really fun. We always do something to unite all the beers together. Like the first year we were like, okay, let's just pick one hop that's universally available. So we did Willamette hops and everybody just made a beer together. And we had probably like 50 beers brewed all over the world, which is pretty cool. And this year...
And everybody put their own spin on it.
Yes. So this year we got together with YCH and we did a hop blend. So we went to Great American Beer Festival. We did our yearly meeting and Kelly facilitated a hop rub with us. So we all together picked the hops that we wanted to use and then we all got to brewing.
And they were awesome varieties.
Yes.
And it was a really awesome blend.
So it's a blend of 5 different hops.
She's on the spot.
Oh, you're the hop lady.
Okay, we'll get you started. There was some mosaic, and there was some laurel. In fact, we can open these and kind of smell them.
Yes.
as we're tasting them.
So yeah, mosaic,
Citra,
laurel, citra,
Palisade,
and Simcoe.
Simcoe, yeah.
Yeah. Not everyone can get the hop blend, obviously. So some people were like, okay, I can just get some Simcoe. That's cool. We can like try to do our own spin on it. So it was really neat. Everyone gets together and collaborates and a lot of us have the same tools to use, but we all do totally different things. It's really neat.
So like last year, if I remember right, it was pre-prohibition or historic styles of beer,
Oh,
right?
you brought the
Ancient
gristle.
ale, yeah.
Remember you brought the
We brought some
gristle
weird
last
stuff
year.
last
Yes,
year.
I remember. Like, what is this beer?
Yeah, last year we did some weird stuff. We do a Germany scholarship every year now, so we send about 10 women to Germany on a cultural immersion tour, and everyone was inspired from that, so that was kind of the theme for last year, and that was really challenging because ancient ale recipes, so yeah, we did like gruits and other strange things that are definitely not IPAs, so people really had to get outside their comfort zone, which is super cool, and everyone really has to communicate with each other, like, how are you doing this? What are you doing? Where this year it was definitely a little simpler. Like we all know how to use hops.
Well, let's cheers to Pink Boots Society and
Yes.
get into this.
Cheers. And one great tidbit, we donated $3 per pound back to the Pink Boots Society. So at the CBC, we're actually presenting the check, and it's in upwards of $38,000. we found.
$38,000.
So
Wow.
Yeah.
super rad for
That's
more
exciting.
scholarships for women in beer. So
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Very
it's nice to have the
cool.
participation.
That's a boatload of
Yeah,
money.
and that's a huge part of what Pink Boots does. We're a professional organization for women. We're here to empower, assist, and encourage women in the beer industry. So we're offering nearly, 25 scholarships a year now to women to help further their education in beer and their careers.
Yeah.
So
So
with $38,000,
this
I mean, that
We
goes
can do a lot
right
of stuff.
to the cause, the scholarship fund, and
Yeah.
everything else, all the good stuff you guys are doing.
Totally.
It's really cool.
That's kind of what got us
I'm-
involved. We thought that would be like a really great partnership
So do you
to
think
give back.
like the format for this year is going to be the template going forward?
It sounds like it.
Or
We're
we
gonna
do different hop blends? And
Yeah, we'll always have a different one. They'll always get to choose.
Yeah.
it would seem to make sense, right? I mean, that kind of money going right to the bottom line and to the...
Yeah, because everyone's already raising money from our brew days, but this was like a crazy cherry on top. I mean, I'm still flabbergasted at the amount of money that our partnership is raising. So thank you, YCH.
Well, thank you, Pink
I'm really
Boots.
excited. I can't
Yeah.
even believe it. So
Right, so in addition to all the beer that's sold, which, percentage of the sales, the proceeds go to the Pink Boots, the hops, all the sale of the hops are also going. I mean,
Yeah.
man, if we can get a malt varietal or some kind of
right?
malt company in, Then it would be a triple
Can you get
whammy.
Western?
And the yeast, right? You got some contacts at yeast, White Labs, maybe. I don't
Actually,
know.
Great Western donated 100 free bags of malt to the first people that signed up, which is really cool. So thank you to them as well. They're always a really good supporter. One of our co-founders, Terry Ferendorf, works for them. So she's always
Terry is awesome.
Yeah. So they always do a lot to support us too, which is really nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We get a lot of support. It's awesome.
Well, who doesn't want to support Pink Boots? I mean, really. I'm just
Really?
Just
It's a
saying.
win-win for everyone.
The negative waves.
So starting with the first beer, Pizza Port, Pale Ale, Becky with the good hair.
Becky with the good hair.
We
I dig
are
it.
coming off of Coachella weekend 1 and weekend 2, so it's only appropriate. This is coming in at a 6%.
Interesting.
Pale Ale.
Yeah.
So this is available at I don't know if all the Pizza Port locations are going to be getting them, but I would
yeah, all of
imagine
them.
so. Yeah, because they brewed it at Bressy Ranch, and it was the majority of the women that work at Pizza Port that did it.
Shout out to Jillian.
Yes.
Yes.
And Christina, she's one of their brewers, and this is actually a recipe that she spearheaded because she was really inspired by Beyonce, like most of us are. Weird,
Who's not?
Listening to Lemonade, and here we are. So this is super.
So we're
super
starting with a
citrusy.
6%er, and we're going to work our way up to 8 point something,
Yes.
8.5 maybe.
No, yes. Yeah, we got some good stuff to try here.
Cool.
But Pizza Port, I mean, I just love how no matter what beer you get from Pizza Port, you taste all the love, you taste the consistency. Like they have a very high standard, and this beer is absolutely no different from the rest.
And they're definitely not gimmicky. They just make good beer. It's great. And part woman owned.
Yes. Gina.
Right,
Yep.
Gina.
Yeah.
Gina's awesome.
So yeah, Pizza Port's always a really wonderful supporter of Pink Boots.
And this one has a Belgian yeast strain in it too, so it's throwing off some
All right,
of
I'm
those
glad you
esters. So that's
said that, because I'm like, what's that sort of strange, earthy,
yes.
sort of peppery flavor that's in there?
I don't think there's anything earthy about our hop blend. So
Right.
yeah.
It's all like, all the cheater hops. Laurel, Mosaic, Simcoe, Citra, Palisade.
You're not wrong.
Like, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, and a little bit of lemons from her family's farm, I believe.
Yes.
Wow.
So they were all peeling them and putting them apart whenever we were there early in the morning for that brew day.
It's delicious beer.
Yeah, Kelly was
super
there.
easy to drink.
And she also had someone named Trisha Gasling from Gasling Hop Farms with her. And she's a woman that owns a hop farm up in Yakima and is a part of YCH. And
she came
was
down
here
to
for
San
some of our brew
Diego.
days. It was really
She
cool.
did, yeah. She came to your brew day.
Yeah.
She was all over town, so it was an exciting day to have Trish Gasling. YCH is farmer owned, or grower owned, I should say. So we have 12 grower owners. We grow with a bunch of other people in the valley too, but it was exciting for her to participate and kind of see all the different styles that were being brewed that day.
Well, it's
Yeah.
cool because, at least I would think from a hop farmer, you see I planted all of these and now I get to see exactly what it's doing and what it's going into.
Well, to see it uniting so many people too, that's got to be really fulfilling as a grower.
Yeah. When
Not
she
just
came to
people
Carl
enjoying the
Strauss, I had
beer.
20 women in my brewery the day we made our beer.
Right.
And she showed up and I was
There's
like,
a couple
wow.
ladies
I
there.
mean, you were there too. It was pretty cool. A lot of love and support.
A lot of estrogen pumping around the brewery
Yeah,
that
I
day.
was just trying to stay out of everybody's
There
way.
are a lot of women that work in the beer industry. I mean, we have about 2,000 members now worldwide. San Diego has just over 200 members here for our chapter, which is really insane. So, I mean, that's not the craziest, though. We are a huge beer city.
Well, and we had Carly Smith on last week, and she was talking about how in North Carolina it's a chapter for the entire state. And I was like, what? I was like, that's so crazy. Just
Yeah.
because, we have so many women in the beer scene here that I was like, wow, for the entire state. So it's really lucky that we have our own chapter here in San Diego.
Well, when it started, I mean, the first meeting was here during CBC 10 years ago. Terry and Laura and like 10 other women, and that was it. So it was kind of like a Southern California thing, and everyone just kind of, as our industry grows, splinters off. So now there's about to be 3 chapters in North Carolina, which is rad.
That's super awesome. So on to the next, we've got Amplified, their new generation. It's a hazy fruit IPA, pomegranate and guava.
Ooh.
Comes in at a 6.2. I was actually just at Amplified in PB yesterday, and I saw this beer, and I was like, ooh, the Pink Boots beer.
And they've got a great female brewer, Dimitra.
Yes.
She's awesome.
Dimitra.
She makes great beer. I've
Yeah,
brewed
she's
with her
been
before,
there
actually.
for about a year now. She was an intern there originally, and it just, the stars aligned, and she got a job there, and yeah, she's really rad. And this beer is awesome, because nothing is overwhelming about the fruit additions. Like, you don't get any color from anything.
Oh my God, this is really good.
Well,
Yeah.
and the taste doesn't really it doesn't hang out with you for a long time afterwards. It's like you get everything on the front end and then it finishes very clean.
And these fruits
Refreshing.
work really well with the hot blend.
I like how the pomegranate and the guava sort of blend with the flavors from the hops. They add sort of a different level of fruitiness, tropical flavor.
It's definitely a lot sweeter than a lot of the other beers, which is nice.
You get the hop flavor and the fruit flavor without the bitterness.
Yeah, it's soft.
Yeah, this is really easy to drink. Does not taste like it's about 7%.
That is fully crushable. That is gillable.
Yes, that is gillable.
Hashtag gillable.
Yes, this is very gillable.
Yeah, after Jillian, we kind of pay homage to her.
How can
Oh,
you
yeah.
not? You know.
True. She does a lot for us.
Right.
Did a lot. No, she still does a lot. She's still really
She's
involved.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Come on, she's all a part
Emeritus.
of this. So tell me a little bit about the brew day itself and how did it work? 'Cause, I saw, different breweries like, hey, this is our, International Women's Brewery Day. Like, anyone who wants to come, let's go. But obviously there's a lot of planning behind that. How do we get to this point?
So 5 years ago, we had one brew day. And everyone from the chapter was invited to come down to Stone, actually at Liberty Station. And we all hung out there and brewed together. And then the next year, we went to Monkey Paw. And Hess also brewed. And I can't remember, there was one other one. And then the next year, I got really ambitious. And I was like, you guys, there's 150 breweries. We can do better. So we had about 15. And now we're sitting about 20 each year, which is really cool. So I've just turned it into this huge thing because we have so many members. It's such a huge thing here. Why are we not kicking ass and brewing all these beers? So now we are. And so everyone gets coordinating. We have a spreadsheet that we keep so everyone can see when people are brewing, where you can go, if there's more room for you to join, because some people don't necessarily work at a brewery who are involved in Pink Boots. And you might work at a bottle shop, but you're still allowed to be a member because you are contributing to our beer industry. So I know someone who works at Bottlecraft went to St. Archer and brewed, which is really nice. So it's a good way to meet people and do something outside your comfort zone, which is really fun about the brew days because I don't brew. I do a tiny bit of cellar stuff, but
Right.
And you don't want me brewing.
Why not?
You don't wash your hands,
so
do
much
you?
hard work. I'm clean. Yeah, it's a lot of janitorial. So yeah, it gives me a chance to be involved in another part of something that I don't normally do at the brewery, which is really cool. And that's the best part about the brew days. So a lot of states just do one chapter brew day. The Boston chapter did 25 brew days, which is really crazy. Sacramento did about 15. So everyone else is stepping it up. I'm really proud.
You brought up an interesting point, I think. It doesn't have to be just female brewers, right? It could be any females who are in the industry doing whatever, marketing, or, we've got a female brewer, our production managers, we got people in marketing and accounting, and they all came out,
Yeah.
they all on brew day, and it was
It's
pretty
a
rad.
uniting thing. It's
HR.
just really, exactly.
It was pretty cool to see just all the support that was there.
Well, and it definitely gives you another level of ownership to your job and your brewery, especially Carl, because it was just your employees, because you do have so many females. So it's great. Everyone got a chance to be extra involved and really feel like you're a part of the brewery and part of something bigger.
Yeah, for us, we had to actually do it in 2 different breweries because there were so many.
Yeah.
So we had one brew up in LA and one in San Diego.
That's cool, though.
You want me to?
Yeah.
All right.
How many brew days did you go to with Trish?
We went to 12, I think.
Oh,
we went to quite a few. Yeah.
You were an overachiever this year.
We were definitely, and well, it
Each
made
one,
it.
did you just do you like the sprinkle of the hops? And
We did a little bit of that. Yeah, we got to do some grain at Carl. It was nice and very organized by Pink Boots, so it was easy to tell who was doing what.
Yeah.
Should we hold it down?
Yeah, we have to be organized. Otherwise, it'd be a
too
mess.
small for that. Look at my
There you
hands are
go.
too small. I can't make my whole body tip.
It's hard.
I need to drink faster.
Story of my life.
Oh, should I pour smaller samples? Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Our instructor, I'm like, I'm a bad drinker. You got to pour me small.
I think that it's only appropriate that Paul is pouring this since this is the Carl Strauss
That's true.
Pink Boots collab.
I've been supporting for a long time. It's been a male-dominated industry for a long time. I've been over almost 25 years now. And in the early days, it was nothing but guys, you know? So it's actually kind of cool now to see it integrated.
When did you start to see it shift? Like, you know, more women coming in. Was there like kind of a breaking point, or is it every year just like you're seeing a little bit more?
Well, every year you see a little bit more, but you know, people like Terry and Laura have been around for such a long time, and I remember, you know, them just being not just female brewers, but good brewers, right? And I've been saying forever that females make better brewers than men because, well, for me, I'm a science guy, right? But their senses of smell and taste are better than men's. So tasting panels, quality control, I mean, at the end of the day, you can have the best QC equipment in the world, but it doesn't tell you if the beer tastes and smells right. So you need, you know, really keen palates, you know.
Yeah, women do have better taste buds.
They do. They
Taste
do.
in general.
Especially when they're pregnant, but they shouldn't be drinking beer when they're pregnant. But
They can have small sips.
Right. You mentioned Terry and Laura, and like I would just kind of like to cheers to Terry and Laura, just because they've done so
Yes.
much, and
Cheers.
you know, like, and I mean, Laura, I've never gotten the chance to meet Terry, but Laura is just such a rad chick, and she's so cool, and she's so welcoming. And one of the things that I love about Pink Boots specifically is women can be so catty and just like so like competitive and not wanting to help each other out, not wanting to uphold each other. But I see in Pink Boots, that's what it's all about. Is it's helping each other out and it's holding each other up.
We're lifting each other up for sure.
Yeah, and like that's super awesome because you don't see that in a lot of different industries. And knowing Laura, and I'm sure Terry's very much the same, it's like there is no ego. There's no whatsoever. It's just I enjoy beer and let's do this together.
Well, they met over 10 years ago because Terry left her job at Steelhead and she was there for like over 20 years, something insane up in Oregon. And she was like, I'm just gonna travel. And she was wearing her pink boots around. And Laura met her and she was like, well, I've just never met anyone else that does what I do. I didn't think there were other girls brewing beer or packaging or doing anything. And so that's how the whole idea snowballed. So it was just like, let's get together and talk to each other as women. And how do we do this job as women? And connect with each other. And now we're a nonprofit, which is insane, and the whole scholarship thing, and it just keeps growing.
And the 10-year, I can't think of the
yeah.
word.
The 10th anniversary?
Well,
No.
yeah, the 10th
Yeah.
anniversary,
The
convention
conference that we had.
conference,
Yeah,
yeah.
we planned a whole conference and a beer festival last summer, which was so much fun.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
We're actually trying to plan another conference. This is the first time you're hearing about it.
Hey.
The ladies in Austin actually were like, we want to do this. We want to bring it to Austin. So we're trying to plan that for early next year.
That's really, really
Very
cool.
cool.
I think we can get it done.
One of the things I
and
saw
all
from
women.
Laura, it was on one of those like beer groups where, you know, she was the one, you know, ask me any kind of question
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of thing. And someone was like, when are guys going to be allowed to be in pink boots? And she said, the day that we don't need pink boots anymore. And that's so true. That is so true.
the
The
goal.
day that we don't need this group anymore of women, you know, women education in beer. And I think that that's just really cool in general.
Well, I'm sure you guys saw like the onslaught of social media last week when it was just all about the like gender pay gaps, where how much like it was like white men, Asian men, and like Asian women, and then like Hispanic women were so far down. It was just insane to see the difference. And we do have to work hard to make sure everyone's taken care of and is treated equally, unfortunately. So yeah, we'd like for there to be no pink boots, but we're going to continue to support each other and grow until that happens.
It will happen.
Let's talk about your beer.
Yeah, Paul.
okay.
Tell us all about it.
So this is the Anaheim one, right?
No, this was the San Diego
okay,
one.
cool.
Yeah, this is the one Kelly helped make.
Oh, yeah.
It's, you know, it's pretty straightforward. Actually, I let our female brewer, Melissa Sanchez, formulate the recipe. I really tried to stay out of it, right? I mean, but it's kind of, I don't know, Papa Bear thing. I don't know. It's kind of like,
You're
okay,
playing
I just
with
want to make
You're
sure.
playing with my toys right now. Right? I want to make sure
Yeah, I
you're
just
doing
want to make sure you don't break my toys or anything. But
It's cool
no,
you guys
it
have
was
a
just-
female brewer now, so that's rad.
Right, and she's
we can trust
awesome.
back
She's
there.
been with us for years now, and she's great. And I just said, take it, you know. So she formulated the recipe, and then she came back and she said, the alpha things don't work or something. I need you to kind of help me with this, and blah. I said, okay. You got the hop utilizations kind of crisscrossed, and then it was beautiful. I didn't touch it, right? And use your hops, and I really just try to stay out of it and let everybody kind of do their thing, and they did.
Yeah, it was a nice brew day.
So what you got is kind of a 7.3% ABV IPA, and a lot of the hops were thrown in at the end of the kettle to try to give it a little bit more hop flavor, not bitterness, and then we just used all the rest in the dry hop. And you know, it's not as fresh as it was a couple weeks ago, but
it's super
still
good.
Kind of clean and bright.
I feel like that was a theme with a lot of how people use this hop blend was more in the whirlpool. I had a couple of people who are like, oh yeah, we just use like one like Chinook for a little bit of bittering and use this later on or for dry hopping because it is so aromatic.
I don't think you needed to use Chinook for bittering. The alpha was pretty high on this. It was like 11.1 or something, right? So we used it single hop. We used like 3 or 4 different hop additions in the kettle, but really bursted it at the end, just threw a bunch in.
And you did mash hopping too.
Yeah,
you were like really having a good time.
We bought a big 44-pound box.
Right.
You're like, let's throw them all in.
I'm like, we're only brewing
use
like
it.
20 barrels, so we're going to use up this whole box, you know. It was fun. It was, and the hop varietals you guys used were like a lot of new varietals, a lot of really good.
Yeah, the Laurel's definitely really new. Mosaic, Citrus, Simcoe have been around for a little while, and then Palisade's kind of one of those that is under the radar.
Yeah.
But has been around for a minute. It's a
good hop.
But all of those are aromatic hops, so can't
It's
go wrong.
kind of cool that you guys stashed enough of those varietals, put them aside for
Yes.
the. Did it take a lot of planning to like?
It took some planning.
we were working on this starting last summer.
October,
So
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, we started like talking about it during
about it.
harvest in September, and then it really came like a fast fruition into GABF and the rub, and then from there it was like trying to organize who was going to get the blend, and then from there making the actual pellets, the T90s on our
Yeah.
side. So
Were there some people that were cut off that didn't get any, or were you
No.
guys able to?
we still have a little bit on spot. So
Oh, wow, cool.
as that still sells on spot, we're still giving money to
heard
the
that.
Pink Boots. So
Jump on it. It's really
check
good.
out our website has it available. But
Yeah, just because you didn't brew it on brew day doesn't mean you can't, right?
Right,
You still can brew it
exactly.
in.
But we
Yeah.
did, I mean, I'll be honest, I was a little bit worried. I was like, oh my God, are we going to go through, what was it, like 10,000 pounds that we decided? Or was it
Yeah,
20?
our original estimate was like we wanted 10,000. We thought
Yeah.
10,000 would be a good number to shoot for, and we shot it out of the water. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
I know. I
testament
was like, are we
to.
going to be able to do this? And yes, we did. I'm really, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, but I'm really happy. Yeah.
10,000 pounds
awesome.
of hops.
Yeah.
So, all right, so we're kind of talking about hops just because I don't know a lot about hops and new varietals because they keep hearing, you know, like, oh, like this is the new like sexy hop to come out, you know, and
Sure.
so is it like
Hold your
how
hand
do
up.
right how well so how did it's more how do new varietals come about, like how
Rub that in your hand like this,
what's it gonna,
and then
what's
smell
gonna
your
happen?
hand.
You're just going to get a little
You're
yellow.
gonna transform. No, new hop
Turn into a
varietals.
guy,
There you go. Now your hand's gonna
Now you're
stink for the rest of the day.
It's like awesome at the gym
Eat one
later.
next.
Well,
No, don't eat one.
what happens if you eat one?
They're super bitter.
Your
Why do
mouth
you've
won't
never
feel
done
good.
it?
No,
Maybe you should.
no,
Don't
not
do
that.
it.
Not with that look on your face.
It would ruin your palate.
No way.
But yeah, like new varietals, they come out very infrequently, and most of it is because hops only grow for one season, and then they're harvested in September in America. And so there's only 1 year to try to figure out how the hops will grow. So it takes about 11 years for a hop variety actually to come to be like a name.
To market.
It takes
market.
11 years?
Yeah.
Really?
So imagine
because
that.
at least when I read about it, or people talking about it, I'm like, oh, like this new sexy hop that just came out, like, you know, where it's like scientists, you know, in the laboratory, like engineering a hop. It didn't take 11 years.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of
Science
it's
and growers.
Just, it's vitality of the hop, like no powdery mildew, growing like certain bales per acre and things like that. Brewers wanting to actually use the hop in their beer. So lots of things go into that. But yeah, hops they're really fun.
What's cool is when they're in process and they don't yet have a name yet. They're usually like HBC 369 or whatever. They're highly sought after when they're in the testing phase. And brewers, like, they want the opportunity to get the first taste and smell and figure out what the characteristics are going to be like. And when Mosaic was still 369, I got the opportunity to taste it and work with it, and I went, oh my God, this is going to be
grow it
like
all.
The thing. Like, we want as much as, so we were already trying to contract it before it had a name on it.
Oh wow, is that like a normal thing that?
It helps the vitality of the hop to grow. So if we have a brewer that's really loving it, and obviously Carl's done really well with Mosaic, which is really exciting.
What helps too is if brewers figure out kind of what they want. It helps the farmers know how much acreage to devote to the different varieties, which is really important so we don't end up with like what happened in 2008 with the hop shortage and stuff like that. It's important for farmers to know what varieties to plant, how many acres to devote, and what varieties they're going to, they might want to discontinue some in favor of other ones. And
it's a very interesting industry. Yeah, I mean, and there's no certainty in it.
There's some certainty, but yes, nature.
And they can't knee-jerk to
be
changes. Like, I mean, it's an agricultural product, so they've got to figure out what's going to go in the ground years in advance.
What's the gestation time of like a hop? Is it a bush? Is that how they come?
No, they're vines.
It's a
rhizome. But no, they can grow. One thing about the Pacific Northwest is we can produce off of plants their first year.
Oh, wow.
Which isn't possible in all hop growing regions. So we're really lucky.
Take that, New Zealand.
Yeah.
That's why they're grown there. And that's why it is the region.
Yeah.
And it's not San Diego.
High desert, not a lot of water coming out of the air. We irrigate. So it definitely makes the plant less susceptible to the powdery mildew.
Okay.
Which is a really big problem for hops. We're really lucky, but they can go, I mean, if we can plant enough of them, they can get big fast. It just kind of depends on how they grow up. And
during the season, they can grow like a foot a day.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just watch them grow up the vine.
So part of what we're going to do with the proceeds that we're collecting strictly from the YCH donation is we're trying to put together, and this isn't it's not like 100%, but we do want to send a couple Pink Boots members to hop selection. So you're going to get to walk through the fields, meet everyone who's growing your hops, and really get an intense experience just in the hop fields and what it's like to be up there. So,
and it's hop and brew school, so it's like an opportunity to have people come and present technically, and then you spend a day in the field. So it's really exciting.
Oh,
it's a good time to come up. If you guys want to come up and film us.
Oh, heck yeah. That sounds awesome. That sounds neat, actually.
I see a proposal in your future.
Yeah, we're there.
We're going to learn Danielle today. She's going to get it.
Thank you.
Well, on to our next, we are on to Epig.
So what's this one called?
Wake Up and Slay.
Wake Up and Slay IPA.
Some more Beyonce.
So much Beyonce going on. So much.
It's another one that's not super bitter, but it's got an interesting earthiness. You get the hops kind of secondary. I'm thinking they used a malt, an assertive malt in there. There's maybe a Maris Otter or something that's kind of earthy.
I can't tell if I'm smelling my hands. Or
if I'm tasting the beer right now. I'm so sorry. It's
now I'm like, wait a second.
Super hoppy.
5,000 times worse.
Yeah. Now you're going to be able to go up to people all day and go, smell my hand.
Where are John and Jared right now anyway?
So, I mean, if you've been to Epig, you know how small it is. So it was just the women that work there were involved in the brew day. And something that I like to promote when people are like, oh yeah, I want to do the brew day, but we don't have any female brewers. I'm like, that's fine. Men can help you. They can do even most of the work, but it's so long as you are learning and you're in there and doing something outside of your comfort zone, like, it's okay. If your employer wants to support Pink Boots, let them. Like, it's okay. Like,
totally.
Yeah, I don't know how to do everything on the brew house, but
it's just a good opportunity to bring your crew together, like you mentioned, having the marketing people and
right.
HR
Anybody
and
who
whoever
works for,
works.
you know.
get their hands
It could be salespeople. I
dirty.
mean, who knows? Anybody. Just
Yeah.
get them in, do a brew.
It's a
Buy
story.
the hops.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
This is an interesting mouthfeel. Again, I can't tell if it's because I'm smelling my hand.
I'm just, I'm smelling these bags. I can smell these from
I mean,
here.
and this
Super
drinks like
fruity.
it's 6%, which is insane
Yeah.
because it's 8.
This is 8?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4.9. Yeah.
This is a sniper.
And that's kind of what I feel like I've gotten from a lot of the brews that I've tried from this, where I'm like, oh, this is sneaky.
So
Not Aiken
does
style.
that come from the hop varietal? Is that like does that or is it just something that happened in the brewing?
You were
The
saying,
alcohol?
I feel like the malt.
Yeah, well, just the
more
fact that
involved.
these are like so snipery. They're like they're strong beers, but they
Yeah.
don't taste.
You just
But they're very
coined a new
easy.
adjective.
They're very easy drinking.
Snipery.
yes, they're like very easy.
So now we've got Jillable and Sniper. I don't know. I mean, I would not have guessed 8%. So I'm thinking that the earthiness, the maltiness, is probably because you have to use more malt to get the 8% ABV, and then you've got to use just a boatload more hops just to kind of keep the balance going there. It is balanced.
It's really balanced.
It's just, it's not as dry and thin as some of the other ones. So it's by no means like a malty beer.
No, it's
But-
you can definitely tell it's an IPA. It just doesn't
It's just more
drink
balanced.
like an IPA. Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Like it almost
It
drinks.
tastes like a 6% pale ale.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally does.
Scary.
In fact, it was pretty close to the pizza
Dun, dun,
port in
dun.
flavor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Minus the family's heirloom lemons.
Well, I thought this
So
was going to be an
cool.
interesting comparison because everybody used the same hop varietal, but seeing what people do, they each have their own spin on that, style. It's kind of cool. It's kind of fun.
Pink
got one more?
Boots. We do have one more beer to get into, but Pink Boots upcoming events. Anything?
Ooh, yes.
Anything that we should be keeping an eye for?
Well, if you're headed to the CBC in Nash Vegas, or Nashville,
Okay, you're cut off.
Bachelorette City. Oh, Lord.
we will be presenting the Pink Boots with their final check at our event at the Cannery Tuesday night. So it's May 1st, I think, or I should know that.
So Laura's president,
Laura,
right?
Laura will be
So
there.
she'll
We'll
be
be
there to
handing her a
accept?
check.
Awesome.
check will
Trish
probably be as big as
Gasoline
she
will be
is.
there.
And if
Yeah.
you're a member, we do have because we have 2 member meetings a year. One's at GABF and one's at CBC. So it'll be in the convention during that time, like lunchtime.
And then you guys have an event too at CBC.
Yeah, so our meeting, and we're doing a tap takeover at Vinyl Tap. So it's going to be like a 90s dance party. And there's like some arm wrestling thing happening, like,
So instead of
all the
Beyonce, it will be
Pink Boots,
Destiny's
yeah.
Child. Got it.
But
Lots of
currently
Destiny's
for our
Child.
beers on display here, Pizza Port's, it's on tap. Carl, it's on tap.
Yeah, these are all on tap.
Yeah,
The
look for these
Epic,
beers at
yeah.
your favorite bars and restaurants.
O'Brien's is doing a tap, a special tap at 420
Not, well,
for
So yeah, a
Epic's
little
beer.
tap takeover.
I see you, You. I see you.
Super fun. Paul has their
No, you
cans
see
for sale
Christina.
now.
She's
Oh,
putting
yeah, I
it
see it
together.
all. Duh.
Yeah, she's putting a couple Pink Boots beers on that day, and steak night also.
Sting.
Yeah.
If you're a woman in the industry, there's a cool tasting coming up with the Pink Boots Thursday. Do you remember the date?
Nope. Yeah, our
Is
next.
there a website people can go
is.
to check on this?
Pinkbootsociety.org.
There we go.
And it's legit because it's the .org.
Yeah, right? Our next chapter meeting is going to be happening at Ballast Point.
And they're doing a food and beer pairing, so it's kind of a cool opportunity to
Awesome.
get to eat some
Yeah,
food and drink
nice.
some beer.
And our meetings are really interesting. Like, we do some pairing meetings. One of the meetings we did this year was jockey box troubleshooting. And we did one at White Labs so far this year as well. We just did a merchandising panel. So we try to cover all the bases of what we're doing and what we're interested in. Actually, the conference that we did this summer, the most feedback we got was that, because it was 1 day and 2 tracks, and everybody was like, we had the best time. It was all Pink Boots members that were speaking, but we wish that we could have seen everything. Because a lot of breweries are really small, so you have your hands in everything. So the brewers want to know how to run the tap room, and the tap room people want to be in the quality control stuff. So I think we're going to try to make it 2 separate days our next conference, because we all do everything, and even if we don't, we want to be as knowledgeable as we can. And that's something, as being a woman in the beer industry, I feel like we all have to overcompensate, because we really need to know everything.
Well, we
Otherwise,
want
you get
to
that
know
one
everything.
person.
Yep.
You always get that person. Well, bringing it full circle, our last beer is the Dirty Boots from Fall Brewing. We actually had Fall Brewing on a few weeks ago, and Greg told us about this. They were getting ready to can it, I think that week, so we didn't get to try it, so this is going to be awesome to finally try it.
Karen Barnett came up with the name. It's a Sonic Youth song.
Nice.
Cheers to Karen.
Yes, cheers to Karen.
Another good lady.
Another
And Pink
awesome
Boots
lady
member.
in
Oh,
beer.
she's also going to do a Pink Boots Tap takeover as well, obviously, because
Small
she's a
Bar?
great supporter too.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I like
Just don't
this
know
one.
the day. Prepared.
This one tastes a little juicier than.
It's an unfiltered double IPA.
Yes,
And
because
this
we can't
one's-
call it hazy.
Okay.
Cannot call
I mean, it's not.
If we learned anything from
don't like
Fall
the H
Brewing
word.
ABV, we do not use that word.
We call it
Right.
murky. No.
Greg,
Oh, yeah,
Greg will
murky.
come and get you. You can
It's a
use
pretty
murky.
nice color.
How snipery is this one? Is this like 9%? Or? Is it really?
8.4.
It's 8.5, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I can drink this. I could drink a lot of this one.
I know, it's scary.
An 8.4, like I wouldn't know until I was face down or
Right.
something.
That is strong.
I've seen that in North Park around Fall Brewing before.
It's just really smooth.
Hence 2 a.m. bike ride.
That's
I love the can. Collaboration Day brewed at Fall Brewing Company by badass women in the Pink Boots Society.
Yes. It's pretty rad. And you can get your own can.
Yes,
Go
you
on over to
can.
Fall.
It's cool that they put badass women, because I mean, brewing is a physical, like just grueling. You get dirty, you get cuts and scrapes and burns and all kinds of stuff. And regardless of whether you're a man or a woman, it's a physical job. But you know, there's
is a
women
lot
making
of
some of the
work.
best beer I've had. Like we had Carly on last week, and she's awesome. You know?
I think women just have such great attention to detail.
Yeah.
And that really, really helps when you're brewing beer, because if you mess one thing up, your whole batch can be done,
Yeah.
and you got to dump it.
Easily.
So
Well, awesome. Nicole, Kelly, thank you so much for coming on, representing Pink Boots Society. Paul, as always, thanks for coming and making
Thanks
it
for
look
letting me
like
sit
we're
in.
legit. You're an honorary Pink Booter today. You're like a maroon boots.
Glad to be with you guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Good job.
Cheers. And like we said, you can try all of these beers at these breweries. You can also find pinkbootsociety.org for anything else that you need. If you want to get involved, if you're part of the beer scene at all and you're a woman and you want to be a part of it, get in it. It's been one of the raddest clubs, societies, anything you want to call it, that I've been a part of. And thanks for watching. As always, you can watch previous episodes at 91x.com. Every Friday morning, Paul comes on air at 91x, 8:45 to do Beer for Breakfast live from the studio to tell you what you should be drinking this week. And I mean, you know, come on, he kind of knows what he's talking about sometimes.
Sometimes.
But thanks and cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.